1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The Prime Minister says besides modernizing the Pakistan Railways, the ML1 project will generate thousands of job opportunities for the people. The Foreign Minister says promoting economic and trade cooperation amongst the SAARC countries will help reduce poverty and improve the living standard of the people. The Minister for Power says agreement signed with the independent power producers will help reduce the cost of power generation and improve electricity distribution system. The American credit rating agency Fitch Ratings has maintained Pakistan's sovereign rating at B- with a stable outlook. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the occupying forces in their fresh acts of state terrorism martyred 2 more Kashmiri youths in Baramulla district today. China has welcomed Russia's proposal for a teleconference summit on the Iran nuclear issue. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan says the main Line 1 project will not only modernize and strengthen the Pakistan Railways, but also create thousands of jobs for the skilled people and boost industrialization in the country. Chairing a meeting on ML1 in Islamabad today, he said it is the key project of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. The Prime Minister said ML1 project will provide better travel and freight facilities to the people of the country and will open up a new chapter of socio-economic development. He said ML1 will significantly reduce the cost of doing business and will facilitate the business community. He said welfare of the people and development of the country is his government's top priority. Earlier, in a tweet today, the Prime Minister said remittances from the overseas Pakistanis in July this year have reached $2,768 million, which is the highest ever amount in 1 month in the history of Pakistan. The Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi has said promoting economic and trade cooperation amongst the SAARC countries will help reduce poverty in the region and improve the living standard of the people. He was talking to a delegation of the SAARC Chambers of Commerce and Industry, headed by its president, Iftikhar Malik, in Islamabad today. He said promoting trade relations with SAARC countries is our top priority, but unfortunately the volume of trade among the SAARC member countries is very low and it needs to be increased. Earlier, talking to the Qatari ambassador to Pakistan, Sheikh Saud Abdurrahman As-Sani, in Islamabad, the foreign minister said Pakistan and Qatar have deep-rooted fraternal relations. The foreign minister expressed the confidence that these relations will further strengthen in the days ahead. The Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi says the role of think tanks is indispensable for understanding diplomatic challenges in view of the rapidly changing global scenario in the wake of COVID-19. Chairing a meeting of scholars of the Institute of Strategic Studies in Islamabad today, he said our think tanks need to expand links with think tanks in ASEAN, SAARC and other regional fora. The meeting discussed development of ties in the region, the changing global scenario after COVID-19 and the challenges facing at the diplomatic front. The Chairman Senate Sadiq Sanjarani says Pakistan and Saudi Arabia enjoy cordial relations and they have always stood with each other in every difficult time. He was talking to the Saudi ambassador to Pakistan who called on him at the Parliament House in Islamabad today. They discussed important issues including bilateral relations. The Chairman Senate said the two countries always work in consultation on international issues and problems. The Chairman Senate said Pakistan can never recognize Israel. The Minister for Power, Umar Ayub Khan, says the agreement signed with the independent power producers will help reduce power generation cost and improve electricity distribution system in the country. Addressing a news conference along with the Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Power, Shehzad Qasim, in Islamabad today, the Minister said the agreement will also promote industrial sector. He said the government is introducing reforms in the energy sector to enable the country generate 70% energy through indigenous resources. The minister said the government plans to promote renewable and alternative energy sources in the country. The Information Minister Shibli Faraj says Pakistan has become an attractive destination for tourists of the world. In a tweet today, he said 100% booking at the tourist spots is a proof that tourism industry is gradually being promoted in Pakistan. He said this also reflects revival of the economy and the confidence of the public. He said the people must ensure compliance to the standard operating procedures against COVID-19. This is Radio Pakistan. The Election Commission of Pakistan has decided to launch an online complaint management system for general public and all other stakeholders for submission of grievances. Keeping in view the digital requirements of modern era, a demonstration of complaint management system was given in Islamabad today to the Chief Election Commissioner. The system will reduce the gap between Election Commission of Pakistan and its stakeholders by providing them easy access to a redressal system of their complaints electronically. This will speed up the complaint resolution process by increasing the overall efficiency. The process also includes tracking facility till its resolution. This is Radio Pakistan. American credit rating agency Fitch Ratings has maintained Pakistan's sovereign rating at B- with a stable outlook. In a tweet, the Ministry of Finance said this further confirms Moody's assessment published earlier this month. The Finance Ministry's tweet further said, once again, this is a clear affirmation of the government's well-considered and effective economic and financial policies in the most challenging circumstances caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the Indian troops in their fresh acts of state terrorism marched to Kashmiri youths in Baramulla district today. The youth were killed by the troops during a cordon and search operation jointly launched by the Indian Army, the Central Reserve Police Force and police in Kariri area of North Kashmir's district. Earlier, 2 personnel of the Indian Central Reserve Police Force and a special police officer of the Indian Police were killed in an attack in the same area. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, strong protest demonstrations were held for the second consecutive day today to condemn the blasphemous remarks of a Hindu priest Satpal Sharma in Raisi district. The protests were held in Ramban, Banihal, Doda, Badarwa, Kishtwar, Punch, Rajouri, Raisi and Jammu city, where people came out of their houses and raised slogans against the priest who uploaded a video containing blasphemous content. The protesters said the priest committed blasphemous act at the behest of the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party in New Delhi. The protesters demanded action against the priest and other responsible for uploading the derogatory video. China has welcomed Russia's proposal for a teleconference summit on Iran's nuclear issues. Speaking in Beijing, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Liqian said the failure of the American resolution for triggering economic sanctions against Iran again showed that unilateralism has no popular support and hegemonistic behavior will not succeed. And finally, the weather. Mainly hot and humid weather is likely to prevail in most parts of the country during the next 24 hours. However, rain with wind and thunder showers is expected in Islamabad, Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Upper Punjab, Lower Sindh and Kashmir. To end the news, here once again are some of the headlines. The Prime Minister says besides modernizing the Pakistan Railways, the ML1 project will generate thousands of job opportunities for the people. The Foreign Minister says promoting economic and trade cooperation amongst the SAARC countries will help reduce poverty and improve the living standard of the people. The Minister for Power says agreement signed with the independent power producers will help reduce the cost of power generation and improve electricity distribution system. Those were some of the headlines, and that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.